Hey, welcome back, comic fans. It's Mr. Q Comics back with some more show and tell. Today I've got some books I picked up from local collectors. I've got a stack of modern age books I grabbed off of Facebook Marketplace and a stack of Bronze Age books I grabbed from a local collector that I've been buying from periodically since December of last year. So before we dive into the books, guys, if you're a fan of haul videos, go down below, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave me some comments, let me know what you think about these books. All right, so let's dive into the modern age stuff first. I've been checking out Facebook Marketplace periodically. I try and check it daily, but it doesn't really work out. Just seeing if anyone's listing new collections. Most of the time it's a bust for me, but I did find a guy who had, I think he listed like 1800 modern books. He was asking like $800 or $1,000, something like that to me, which is like crazy price for modern stuff. But didn't have a ton of photos, had like 4 or 5 books in the photos. One in particular caught my eye, so I was able to reach out, make a time to go up and meet on a Sunday morning and kind of look through the collection. So wasn't able to pick it all up. He wasn't super flexible on the price for the whole thing, but he did let me pick out a stack of books, which I think I got like 7, 8 books, and I'll tell you what I paid at the end. So we will dive in. A lot of this was just cover buys for me. Got a copy of Red Sonja #1. I don't know if this is a reprint or not. It's like a $1 book, but I just like the Jenny Frison cover. And a lot of this stuff I'm just kind of highlighting some of the better books to me. I would grab just like runs of certain series instead of trying to cherry pick just the 1 or 2. So I got Birds of Prey #7, which is an Art Germ cover. Very cool Batman Art Germ. And #11, also an Art Germ cover. I have no idea who that character is. Looks like an amalgam of Daredevil and Wolverine. But very cool Art Germ artwork. I don't think those go for a ton. And I think I grabbed like whatever issues he had of Birds of Prey. Some more Art Germ. I did not have these from the Batgirl run. We've got #9 from 2010. And #10 from the same run. This one's a newsstand copy. It's got a bunch of color rub all over it, so not in as good a shape. But most of the stuff that this guy had was really good shape, near mint, VF near mint, like worst. It looks like he read this stuff and bagged it and never touched it again. So, and it was pretty much all DC. I don't think he had any Marvel. He was like a big Jeff Johns guy, so ton of Jeff Johns series and complete runs. So luckily he was willing to let me go through and kind of pick some stuff out. So I grabbed these few books he had. I think he had like 3 issues of this, but Stars and Stripe #0. I know nothing about this character. I know the book was a key. I know a while ago I saw that it was pretty expensive. I looked it up before shooting this video, and it continues to be pretty expensive. It's the first appearance of the second Star Spangled Kid. This one to me is a definite 9/8 contender. Seems to be still like a $200 book. I see people listing it more than that. But a few best offers on books at like $250, so I'm assuming they're going for around $200. And again, I have no idea how many issues are in this run, but I grabbed whatever he had, which I think was only like 4 issues. Issue 1 as well, which is probably, I think it's like a $15 book, The Origin, something like that. He had the whole Final Crisis run and a lot of the tie-ins. I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember if it's 8 or 9 issues, but there were 2 sets of covers, so I did grab all of those. But I also grabbed this really sharp copy of Rage of the Red Lanterns. This is Atrocitus Becomes the Red Lantern. I think there's a ton of first appearances in here. I don't think it's a huge key, raw, maybe $20 book. But again, this is a really sharp 9/8 contender, I think, anyways. So happy with that one. And I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff. I don't know DC as well as Marvel, and I can't keep up with the modern keys, so I think there was probably some books I definitely missed. This was a cool one I had, but I couldn't leave it behind. We got Catwoman #83. He did not have a ton of the Adam Hughes Catwoman covers, but he did have this one, probably a $10. But a lot of these Adam Hughes Catwoman covers are a solid $10, maybe $15, with a couple that are super expensive, but I always dug this one with the skull. A couple of J. Scott Campbell covers that I was not expecting to find, but I've got Escape from Wonderland #1. Very cool book. I love J. Scott Campbell art. It does get a little redundant for me, but I was happy to find these. I typically don't find any stores in my area that carry Zenoscope or sell them at all, so I have no idea if he got this at a local shop or got it online. I got the impression this was just, this guy was reading these things and setting them aside. So happy to find that. I like those covers, but they're not ones I would typically go try and get on eBay. So if I find them though, I will grab them. Really happy with this one. This is one I've always wanted to come across and never seen. It is The Waking #2. Again, J. Scott Campbell. This one is from 2009. Never come across it. Found in this collection, and of course I found it this past weekend at a warehouse sale at a local shop, which was kind of funny, just buried in the bins. So it's always the way it works. You never find something and then boom, you find it a bunch. All right, down to the last few, the really good books in my opinion from what I picked up. One of these was in the photos, which had my attention, but I think I have a copy of this already in much lower grade. But we got Power Girl #1, awesome Adam Hughes cover. Love the Adam Hughes Power Girl covers. I love that JSA Classified #1 is fantastic. This is a great one as well. I think the one I have, I found in a dollar bin. It was like water damage. So really happy to get a nice upgrade there. Again, all this stuff is super sharp, so most of these are in near mint condition. And then another Adam Hughes I'd never come across, but Power Girl #2. This one is pretty pricey, if I am not mistaken. I think this is, you know, a $30+ book on eBay anyway. So very happy with that. Love that one. Love the red cape. And of course, what everyone loves with Adam Hughes Power Girl covers. All right, and I did grab every book he had of this run. I think he had through issue 18 or something, so I just grabbed the whole run because they seem to go for pretty decent money. But I got Gotham City Sirens #1. All of them are in really good shape. This one seemed like an actual 9.8 candidate as well. I can't remember what that's going for currently, but still an expensive book in 9.8. So like I said, I think I got the first 18 issues, and they're all really nice shape. So. And then the big book, he did not have a ton of older stuff at all. Most of it was all like, you know, 2000, most of it was like 2010 up. But he did have a copy of this in pretty decent shape. We've got Batman the Killing Joke. This is the first print. I don't have the first print, but very happy to get this. And it's really nice, but it's got this discoloration, if you can see in the hands blocking the light right here. Very odd. It doesn't look like it was like a coffee stain or anything, so I have no idea if that's a printing defect. The guy wasn't a smoker, so I don't know. Otherwise, it looks like it's in near mint shape. I don't think he ever read it. When I go to open it, it feels like it is factory fresh. Like I don't even want to try and open it because I don't want to crack the spine and all. But really sharp copy. Really happy this worked out. Like I said, he let me go through and grab a stack of books, and at the end, we worked out to $150, which I thought was a great price for this. He wanted like $800 for everything, and he wasn't super flexible. And I offered him $300 for everything, and he wasn't really into that. So I think a lot of it was just a ton of filler, you know, decent books, but they were just reading material, you know. So really tough to kind of resell that stuff. So very happy with that. All right, on to the Bronze Age stuff. This is, again, I've shown off hauls from this guy before. We've gone back and forth a few times, so he had a stack that he was looking to purge. So I will highlight again a few of the books I grabbed. Marvel 2-in-1, #1. Not a huge book, but this is a mid-grade book. I've never gotten it before, never felt it was a big enough key to warrant some of the prices people are looking for, so happy to grab that one. I think when he sent me the photos, I didn't know this was going to be in there, but I always pick this up when I do find it cheap. Uncanny X-Men 221. Newsstand copy, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. This one's mid-grade. It's got some bad chipping along the top, but awesome Mark Silvestri cover as well. He had a bunch of Warlock in here. You know, Strange Tales and a bunch of the Warlock run. I think he had just gotten it in December when we first met as well. But with Strange Tales 179, first appearance of Pip the Troll. This is Jim Starlin, story, cover, and art from 1975. This one's in pretty nice shape, probably in the VF range. We've got Strange Tales 181. I think he won like a lot on like a Facebook auction that was just all Warlock books. Again, Jim Starlin on this. This is the second appearance of Gamora. Maybe the third is, yeah, second appearance of Gamora, third Pip the Troll, I think. We've got Warlock #1. Again, probably VG fine. A lot of the stuff is kind of beat up. It's not bad, but it's got some chipping right there. You have this big section missing right along the edge. This one, very happy to get this. I've never picked up this book. This one I always thought was... I'm not huge on team appearances, you know, as major keys. And this one always seems to be really expensive. But we've got Marvel Feature #1. Marvel Feature presents the Defenders #1. First team appearance of the Defenders. I had no idea this was a Neal Adams cover. Didn't recognize the artwork at all. I just was looking stuff up before this video. Went, huh, that's Neal Adams. So very cool there. That is from 1971. Again, probably VG range on that. And then we've got some of the Bronze Age occult. We've got Doctor Strange #1. This is an awesome Frank Brunner. Phenomenal work in the 70s. This one is from 1974. First ongoing series, I guess you'd call it. I guess technically this is considered volume 1. First appearance of Silver Dagger. I've got this already in much better shape, but very cool book nonetheless. There's a bunch of filler in there as well, stuff I'm kind of selling off as lots and just kind of keeping the books that I particularly like that I don't have, or upgrades. But he did have a copy of Strange Tales 180, first appearance of Gamora. Decent shape, probably mid-grade on that. Again, Jim Starlin on the story, cover, and art. And then down to the last two, he had Tomb of Dracula #12. I know he's got a #10 that's slabbed, that he has no interest in selling. He's big into the Bronze Age horror stuff from Marvel, so I was kind of surprised he put these in there, because he had sent me these photos back in December when we made the deal, our first deal, and he was just kind of, you know, showing me what he had, but not interested in selling at the time. So happy he included these. #12 is, of course, the second appearance of Blade. I don't know what's going for now, but man, I've bought a few of these over the years when I find them, and I have sold these for pretty good money. Some of these Tomb of Dracula books, to me, surprisingly, because when I got back in the hobby, they weren't that expensive, but they continue to go for pretty good money. So nice book there. And the big book of the lot, what really had me interested, another book I have never owned before, Tomb of Dracula #1. First appearance of Dracula. This again, Neal Adams cover, which I didn't know. For a while I didn't know. I realized pretty recently this was Neal Adams. But again, 1972, very cool book. This is the one, I was really trying to get off of him initially, but he wasn't interested in selling with some of his other stuff he was showing off. So super happy with that. I think this stack was like $300. Again, there were a lot. This is probably like a quarter of what I picked up, because he just, his filler issues, he doesn't like keeping. He just kind of collects key books, so he'll dump off. He had like a ton of Marvel 2-in-1, like probably 30 issues of that. And he just likes to get rid of that stuff in bulk to keep his space a little bit more organized. So I thought that was a great deal. So very happy with those books. Yeah, if you're a fan of these videos, guys, again, please go down below. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave me some comments. I'll see you guys soon.